Hello, beautiful ones. Welcome back to my channel. I hope that you are having yet again another lovely week and ready to start a new one. In the case that you're new here, I wanted to give you a special welcome. My name is Leisha and I've been documenting my personal leveling up journey. I have been sharing my transformation from broke beach bum into feminine, elegant, and affluent woman. I typically upload every Sunday, at least once a week, so I would love to have you subscribe and join me for this transformation. Today, I am going to be sharing a little bit about some non-negotiables that I have set up that I think are so important for any woman who is on a level up journey. These key areas I think are so important because they encompass just the whole picture of, I think, everything that you would want to put into your journey. And so I'm going to be sharing those and giving some examples of places or just specific examples of the boundaries and non-negotiable things that I have set in place. Several of you have mentioned to me in the comments that you want to work more on time management and productivity in your level up journey and in your transformation. And I think that, for me, having a background as a project manager, I have just sort of ingrained some of these ways of setting non-negotiables. When you can set these boundaries that you are going to always stick to, no matter what, just about, life happens, then you're going to see a much faster progress and it's also going to feel a lot easier. Now, when you first set up these non-negotiable boundaries or these areas where you set up these boundaries for yourself, it is going to be difficult. It's not easy to change your habits overnight. It's not easy to say no to things or, sometimes it's not even easy to say yes to things. I do want to mention that before I dive into some key areas I think it is important to set non-negotiables in your level up journey. All right, so some of the key areas, there are 5 total, where I set some non-negotiable boundaries. In other words, these are very ingrained habits in order to make my level up journey more sustainable. Health, that is probably the first thing. I think that everything that we do as women who are leveling up, whether that is, working on the way that we look or working on our femininity, it all starts with health. And when you feel terrible, you just in general have a very difficult time, I find, doing anything, making any sort of changes, no matter how small or big. So health is my number one area to set up some non-negotiable boundaries in. The second thing is with my husband and daughter. So this is the second area. Could be family for you, or it may even look like your significant other, or you might prioritize dating so that you find that long-term relationship. I think that obviously the people who you are very close to and who you are bonded with in a family relationship, and I'm referring more to immediate family here, so your marriage or your children, they are a major part of your life. And so I think that as women who are feminine and working on protecting that feminine energy are those that we are to be nurturing and to be in life partnership with deserve so much of our time and focus. And often, in my case especially, my husband is working with me in this level up journey to build the life that we desire to live. And so I want to make sure that I protect that. The third thing is my image. So whether that is, my self-image, the way that I view myself, the way that I present myself, the way that I look when I leave the home, the way that I look in the home to my family, the way that I show up to work, my image is important. And so I find though that sadly, a lot of women will set this part of their level up journey either to an extreme where it is the primary focus, or they will not focus on it at all. And I think a lot of women, we just struggle in this area. It can feel hard. And so I'll give some specific examples in just a few moments. There's also finances. When it comes to finances, I think that, of course, we want to be diligent. If you want to become a wealthy woman, you must take care of your finances, you must have a spending plan. You must have a way to either build your own income or work with someone who's providing for you to build your income. And you must also then manage that income and use it wisely, steward it wisely to build wealth, to help others that you care about and causes that you care about. And so that is a very key area where we need to set some important non-negotiable boundaries. The fourth area is in relationships. And I mean more like your friendships or your networking. And so there are some boundaries there, because if you have seen one of the videos I did about toxic relationships or situations, it's so important to avoid those as a woman leveling up. I think that the better you can set boundaries in this area, just the better off you're going to be. But you're not going to be able to get very far, in my opinion, without setting some strict boundaries here. And then finally, this is not the last area that you want to pay attention to at all. I probably should have mentioned this second or third up at the top, but I do want to leave a lasting impression with home. Your home should be an area that you have some non-negotiable habits and boundaries set up, because your environment is so very important to your mood, the way that you feel, whether you stick to the habits that you're creating and the boundaries you're setting in the other areas or not, and it can deeply impact your ability to level up faster. And so that's why I wanted to leave you with the fifth key area, which is home. Before I dive into some specific examples, I'll also mention that depending on your life stage and where you are with some of your personal goals, you may want to add another key area to focus on and to build some habits in, which is your education, your skills. I know that for me, I've gone through maybe the first year or so of my personal level up journey. I was very intently focused on skilling up in my career and working on making sure that I was developing more skills to help my husband with the income. That was before we had our daughter. And so you may be in a time of life where you are working on college classes, you are working on a professional certification, maybe you are just working on becoming a better mother or becoming someone who can take better care of your home or yourself, and you want to take a course. And so you may want to set up an area to specifically focus on with that. Let's pause and set a plan for taking action. Allot some time in your schedule before the new year to review and reflect on some of these key areas in your own life. Take out your journal and write down what you feel like you have been doing well, and write down what you feel like has not been working so well. Then from there, you can set up some goals and some key non-negotiable habits that you would like to work on for 2023. So for me, when it comes to health this past year, I've had some things that I set up as non-negotiables so that I ensure that I am taking care of myself and that I have built energy up to take care of all of the other aspects of my level up journey. And I can say, based on, personal experience and seeing some other people who are close to me in my life, if you drive yourself into the ground trying to level up your life, provide for everyone around you, and you let that go on for many, many years, and you don't pay attention to things in this area of health, you are going to regrettably, I think, have some very difficult issues come up down the road, and you will not really. I just don't see how you can enjoy what you're doing and what you have worked so hard to enjoy. Let alone if you have a goal right now to just be able to spend more time with those you love. If you aren't healthy and you're spending all of it sick, then I think, what does it even matter, right? So I did want to mention that again, this is such an important area. For me, I have devoted myself to at least having 30 minutes a day of movement. That is something that is non-negotiable. It's a habit. And having a child, I have set up for myself some planning time where I'm trying to make sure that I plan and schedule out my week, of course. I have videos about that. I'll link in the description below. It's more like a rhythm. So I know that I'm going to get up in the morning and I'm usually going for a walk with my daughter after she has had her breakfast. And at least 30 minutes a day. So if I cannot make it to my yoga class, that I know is my non-negotiable. I'll basically decline or postpone activities that are going to be interfering with my non-negotiables in this area of health. So if I am already planning on going to a yoga class on, let's just say Wednesday at 12, that's usually when I've been going, I will not plan calls or appointments or even, go out for a last minute lunch or something, just because I am protecting that time. And I already have that as a rule. So if someone asks me, it's just kind of an immediate no. And that is how I go about making that area, or that one habit of my health routine, a non-negotiable. So taking care of a baby and taking care of my husband certainly is not an easy task. And in the area of immediate family, though, I've chosen to just have the mindset that, hard does not equal the same thing as bad, right? And so I must spend some time in this area. One of the non-negotiables that I have, which could also fall under health, is cooking at least 5 times a week. So for me, that means we can have healthier meals. It also helps us in the financial area as well. But I really want to protect that time for dinner around the table with my family, especially when my daughter first started her solids and I wanted to make sure she felt included. That was such an important non-negotiable for me to set. And so that is something that you could think about. So as far as my image goes, I have done so many videos on my habits, my routines, and you can watch those in the description below. But a non-negotiable that I have, even as a mother, on just a normal day is that I always do my skincare morning and night routine. That is happening every day. I remember when I first brought my daughter home from the hospital, I would sit her in her little seat right beside me while I did my skincare. And the other thing in that area that I do is I always do my 5-minute face, and I groom my hair as well with usually the Dyson Airwrap. So those are non-negotiables. Now that means that maybe I don't do them at the exact same time every single day, but they get done every single day. I think it is so important for your image, the way that you present yourself, even if it is just to the delivery driver dropping something off at your home, looking put together. I usually have just some items in my closet that are hanging ready to go. I love to wear dresses now. I think that just really elevates my femininity, and so that is typically what I'll reach for, even if I'm going on a work meeting, for example. So I think that having those non-negotiables set up really helps to promote a positive self-image, and not only that, but just a physical presentation of yourself to others is so important. On other days where I have more time or something that is a little bit of a higher level, like filming a YouTube video or going out to a lunch with friends, I make sure that I put in some extra time, or I block out some extra time to present myself well and make sure that I have the time to do so. In the area of finances, I wanted to say, it's important to make sure that you have a spending plan, make sure that you are working with your significant other on that. As a single lady, I won't go into too many details there, but you should very much so be taking care of yourself financially and working towards building skills that can up your revenue, your income, building the knowledge about investing, and preparing for your future, preparing for that day that you are able to achieve those desires that you want. And so I think that this area of finances is, again, I have several videos. I have a playlist on the topic if you want to see where I kind of was getting started with this. But that is an area where you want to set up some non-negotiables. My husband and I actually do have something with our spending plan that, we do every single month. We sit down and we look at our Google sheet and we plan out for things that we want to purchase. We also have a minimum amount that we must, or a maximum amount that if we want to spend, we must consult the other about it first. And so those are really good practices, I think, that have helped us to stay the course when it comes to finances. Now, when it comes to relationships and friendships, I definitely have a non-negotiable around this. At least twice a month, I go and have lunch with one of my friends, whether it is one of my business friends or just a friend. I'm working right now on having more friendships with other mothers and in real life. And so this is definitely something that I want to continue. I may increase the frequency of when I'm going out. It's again very difficult with the way that my husband's work schedule is right now and the way that my schedule is with our daughter being cared for. So you just have to set something. Having something set in this area is better than nothing, I think. And again, you want to also be careful to set boundaries around the toxic people and situations that you want to avoid. Sometimes you find yourself in those and they can just really drag you down. So I have a video about how to deal with toxic situations elegantly if you would like to watch that video after this one. Finally, in the area of home, I think that for me, non-negotiables include things like I make sure that I put my kitchen to bed every night. That's something that I've developed over the past few months, is that, I clean up the kitchen every night. I don't leave dishes in the sink anymore. I used to leave one or two, but I would find that when I woke up and walked into the kitchen, it just was not enjoyable for me to see anything there that I needed to clean up before I got the coffee started and everything. Another non-negotiable for me is making my bed every day. That is something that I think really sets your energy for the day, is just a small minor accomplishment of the task of making your bed before you go about your daily routines and tasks. So just wanted to leave you with those examples of just how I'm setting up some non-negotiable boundaries and habits in some key areas. Of course, there are many, many more that I have developed, and I've done detailed videos. I think they're pretty detailed on some of those areas if you'd like to just browse my channel and review those. Thank you so much for watching. I hope that this has been helpful for you to think about. I could certainly go through some more material on this as well, just as I continue to develop further routines. But I think these key areas will help you to really expedite your level up journey, especially as we head into 2023. It's going to be so exciting to start a fresh year and have some key boundaries set in place to help you with your level up journey. So I will be looking forward to seeing you in the next video. Thanks for joining me. Bye.